Mellow Yellow, my name's Kamaya. Today is all about the basics. It's very easy to do. All you need is yarn, a 5mm crochet hook, and your hands. If you don't have hands, well, that's very unfortunate. If you're just a person that likes to watch others crochet, well then, welcome as well. And so, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so starting out with any crochet work, you're gonna need to have a slip knot. So that's what we're gonna start off with before we get to the chain. So basically you just have a long end, you have your short end, which is gonna be your tail end. You gotta cross that tail end over the long end. You can take your crochet hook for this, put your crochet hook, do this little loop, take the long end, and pull that long end through. Pull tight. You have a slip knot. And how you know you've done it right is if you're able to adjust the size of the slip knot by pulling the long end. You should be able to make it smaller by pulling those two ends apart. So now that we've got our slip knot on our crochet hook, we can talk about how to hold your yarn. This is how I hold my yarn. There is no right or wrong way to hold your yarn because everyone holds their yarn differently. But just to start you out, I'll show you how I hold mine if you're a complete beginner. So basically, how I hold my yarn is I take my yarn and I wrap it around my middle finger all the way around once, and I put it over my pointer on the back of my hand. That's how I hold my yarn. But like I said, experiment with it. It's no one way to hold your yarn. And I loosen my hands up and tighten them when I just need to pull the yarn through. It's honestly all about control. It's very, very good. Okay, I'm gonna stop that there before I go on a rant. What you wanna do is you wanna take your hook or your finger, wrap your yarn around the back of the hook and pull through. Pull through. Do it one more time. Pull through. Wrap your yarn around the back of the hook and pull through. Around the back. Pull through. Also, tip, you know how sometimes when you're doing a single, like especially for the longer chains, when you're doing a very long chain, how to keep it from twisting and turning and stuff like that, all you have to do is take your middle finger and your thumb, hold the work, hold it. And when you continuously do that, it keeps it consistent. So when you yarn over, pull through one loop, come up a little bit. Your finger should be at the very base of the work, closest to your hook, if you want. Anyways, I'm gonna be quiet now. Yarn over, pull through. And that is how you do a chain. Okay, so now that we've gotten our chain, I'm going to teach you how to do a slip stitch. So, how you do the slip stitch is you want to skip this first stitch from the hook. focus, focus, focus. Okay, this right here will be the very last chain. Your chain, how you identify, this got two sides, just a V, just a V. This is gonna be your last chain. It doesn't look exactly like all the others, that's okay. You're gonna skip this one. That's what we're doing, we're gonna skip it. So, oh no, tighter hold. All right, so we're gonna skip that one and go into the very next one up under it. So, we're gonna insert our hook, yarn over, pull through. You should have 2 loops on your hook now. 2 loops. All you're gonna do is pull through the last loop. Boom. Insert your hook into the next chain. Yarn over. Pull up a loop. Pull through the last loop. Into the next one. Insert your hook. Insert your hook into the chain. Yarn over. Pull up a loop. Pull through the last loop. Insert your hook. Yarn over. Should be 2 loops on your hook. Pull through the last loop. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through. So a bit of an editor's note. When I was editing this, I had heard the sound of my voice sped up, and it was so adorable. It sounded so squeaky. I was like a little chipmunk. And I thought to myself, should I put this back in? Should I leave this in? Nah. All right, now we're at our very last, we're at our very last stitch. And I know that when I started out, I would skip the last stitch, which would make my work go all wonky, but you really want to pay attention. This is your last stitch, chain. This is your last chain. You're gonna insert right in that last one. It doesn't look like the rest of them, that is okay. Insert, pull up a loop. Oh no. Pull through the last one. Now your work can be even. Chain 1, turn your work. Your work will always be facing the left of you. So now we are back at our chain of 17, and I'm gonna now show you the single crochet. Just like when we did our slip stitches, we're going to skip the first chain. This is why you make an odd number of chains, because you're gonna skip the first one. Keep everything even, because guess what? At the end of this row, you're gonna chain 1 and turn your work. So skip the first chain. It's basically like your first chain 1, turn your work. Insert your hook into the chain, yarn over, pull up a loop. You should have 2 loops on your hook now. It's kind of like the slip stitch, but not quite. It has an extra step. You're gonna yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Gonna go into the next stitch. Pull up the loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. To the next stitch, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. row of single crochets. And when you're finished with a single crochet row and you are going on to do your next row, you always chain one, turn your work. Also, let me show you something. At the very end of the row, also be very, very sure to get that last chain. You may think, oh, it's over, and you see that knot and you skip. Nope. Insert your hook, run over, pull up a loop, pull through two. Also, at the other end, because we're going to turn our work, and you would go all the way down. You would think that this one right here will be your last chain, your last stitch. No. Look for it. Pay attention. It's actually this one at the very end. If you pay attention to these, that's your last stitch right there. Not this one, but this one. These ones kind of get stuck up under all the work, and you kind of miss them and skip over them, and then you come out and your square looks like a triangle. So pay attention. One more thing, if you get it wrong, don't be afraid to pull on this working end and take it apart. I know this can be painful for a lot of people, especially when you want to get it right, but it is better to start over at the beginning than to get towards the end and found out that you made a mistake at the beginning and then you have to redo all of it. If you need to, take it all apart. Make sure you pay attention. Count your rows when starting. Count your rows when finishing. Even if you have to do it at the end of every row. It's better to redo one row than make 10 rows and having to take down 9 to get to the 1. It's okay to take apart your work to fix something. That was all for today, and I will see you guys in the next video. Shalom.